Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this, as you all know, is not David. David's still struggling with his lower back. He will probably be up and at it again this weekend. He's told me he put a video out today. His back was a little bit better. He was able to kind of sit down for about a half an hour at a time, and so he's just taking it easy. So I'll have to go out on his channel and see what he actually recorded. I'm sure he's probably released it already. I wanted to do a reading on the Justice Department. Pam Bondi, in her wisdom, has decided that she's going to sue the state of California to block the U.S. House map that Governor Newsom is proposing for the state of California. So as you may or may not know, we had a proposition come through California to temporarily suspend the independent committee that draws the district maps to prevent partisan map creation, and suspend it until the next census in 2030. This was in response to Trump reaching out to Texas and having Texas redraw their congressional district maps to provide additional seats for Republicans in the House. And Governor Newsom basically warned Governor Abbott, don't do it, or we're going to do it in California to offset whatever gains you get in Texas. We'll offset it in California. Well, Abbott didn't, I guess he didn't take Newsom seriously, so he did it. And what Newsom did that was different was he didn't just have his state elected officials draw it up, he actually had the voters vote on it. And so that's the one thing that's unique about California's approach is this is voter approved redistricting. This is not just a bunch of guys in the state senators and state congressmen doing it. So there's a legal battle now going on in California federal court. And basically Pam Bondi's quote here is that California's redistricting scheme is a brazen power grab that tramples on civil rights and mocks the democratic process. Governor Newsom's attempt to entrench one-party rule and silence millions of Californians will not stand. Which is just so ironic given what her favorite president did in Texas, which is exactly this, only they didn't even ask the voters. They just went ahead and did it. It's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. Because Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina have redrawn their district maps, and they're not facing any federal pushback, right? Any legal action from the feds. So that it's going to be interesting to see how the court rules on this. Because if they rule against California, then now you got legal standing in Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina. And you know what, frankly, fine. You want to take it away from California, then you need to take it away from these states as well. Because if it's not legal here, it's definitely not legal there. And California's probably followed the most legal bound process of these states. So if we can't pass muster here, they certainly cannot pass. And I'm okay with that because then we're back to the same playing field that we started this with. Newsom didn't want to redraw the maps. He just didn't want Texas to redo theirs. This was in retaliation to that. So, and personally, the other thing I can say about it is to the extent that you don't want to take the voter's voice away. I don't agree with MAGA. And we have a lot of red counties in California. They tend to be in the more rural areas. And so there's not a lot of population there, but they have representation in Congress. And I think it's wrong to silence them, even though I disagree with their messaging. Just like I think it's wrong to silence the people in Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina. I happen to agree with their messaging, but silencing them is just as wrong. So, we got to, you can't just cherry pick which laws you think are favorable and which ones you don't think are favorable and apply them the way you feel is most beneficial to you, right? It's either it applies to everyone or it applies to no one. So for entertainment purposes only, let's take a look at the overall energy on the redistricting in the United States. What do we need to know? Whoops. Okay, foundation of the reading is the star. The most important part of a democracy is free and fair elections. The challenge is the Page of Cups. MAGA's losing influence. Okay, and if you are a MAGA person and you've made it this far, you are amazing. I guarantee you, everything I've said right now that has ticked you off is going to be nothing compared to what I'm probably about to say about you and your party. So I would recommend you sign off now. For those of you that are still signed on, the challenge is the Page of Cups, which is that MAGA crazy, is trying to take over the democracy. Energy underneath it is the Wheel of Fortune. Around and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. So it's uncertain how this redistricting is going to ultimately end up. In Texas, my understanding is that with the redistricting, they're really counting on the Latino votes that voted for Trump to stay with Trump. That's the baseline assumption, and that the district maps that they drew, if the Latino vote shifts away from Trump, they have essentially created a bunch of blue congressional districts. That is my understanding of it. I guess we'll know in about a year's time. We'll know if that's true. In the past, you got the Five of Swords. Basically, the winner takes all. The power, the party in charge has all the power. They make the rules. They want their congressional maps so that the people are not represented and they have all the power. Current energy, however, is the Four of Cups. They're looking at what's being done, and they're happy with the states that they've got redistricting, but they're not happy with how California, and I think there's a couple other states that where either the Republicans lost their redistricting maps. I want to say Utah might have been one of those, or the Democrats were able to do additional redistricting. But right now, they're not happy with what they're seeing in front of them. This could just simply be the midterm, the special elections in 2025, and not happy about what's coming up at them. But there's something out there on offer. See if they want to pay attention to it. Overarching energy is the Ace of Swords. This is Pam Bondi inadvertently telling the truth, right? That it's an attempt to entrench one-party rule and silence millions of Californians. Replace Californians with Texans, or North Carolinians, or Missourians. It's just so funny how they don't appreciate the irony of what they're saying. It's once again MAGA Republicans projecting what they do onto somebody else. What's the lesson to be learned? The Empress, you need to take care of everyone in the United States. Every voice is important. Everyone needs to be heard. Not just the ones that agree with your political platform. Outcome is the government. The government will be shaped by this. If it was a justice card, I would definitely know where this is going. But this is about shaping the government, and it's not necessarily for the benefit of the people. So, okay, that's the general energy of what's going on and why it's going on. I mean, I think by and large, this is probably not a reading that's surprised a single soul that's watching this right now. Unless you're a really patient MAGA person, in which case I'm sure this has absolutely stunned you that this is actually occurring. So let's see, how will Pam Bondi How will her lawsuit fare in California federal court? Exciting watching me shuffle cards, right? Dave would be going ballistic right now. Okay, how is this going to fare in the courts? Bloop. Queen of Swords. Okay, well, Queen of Swords, it's about a truth. A harsh truth about, in this case, this is kind of like an internalized truth, but it's a truth that you have to deal with. And the cross is the hermit, trying to find that path forward. So you got a major arcana. So it's the court is going to need to consider, because this is going to be a case that will have national impacts on how they rule on this. And what's the energy underneath? It's curious to see how this is going to go. I mean, my internal bias is I think it's going to lose. That's just my gut feeling. But let's see what the cards say. Underneath it, you've got the Magician, another major arcana. Manifesting a result, trying to work the old magic there, but it's kind of, you have to me, what strikes me about the Magician card is all four of the signs are there. The wands, the swords, the pentacle, and the cup. So everything's there. It's, you've got to take everything into account. Your actions, your intelligence, your emotions, and what things of value. And the courts needs to weigh all of that. In the past, you got the Four of Swords. This is taking time to think about this. How are we going to rule? What direction do we need to go to? Are we going to put this to rest? Another four card. The current energy is the Four of Wands. Equal actions, equal voice for both parties. I mean, ultimately, that's what you want. You want everyone to have an equal opportunity to have their voice heard. Overarching energy, the Ten of Wands, the burden. Yes, another court case for the feds to sort out. That will probably if they lose, they'll appeal it to the Supreme Court. But we got a big burden that needs to be carried. The courts need to make sure everyone's fair and no one's overly burdened. Lesson to be learned is the Nine of Swords. This is a nightmare scenario. This is, this 2026 election is causing a lot of anxiety. And what's happening in the courts is probably causing a lot of anxiety, not just for us, the public, but for the judges who are seeing basically the Constitution's being attacked, and that the Justice Department is weaponized. And this is creating a burden, and it's creating a headache situation. And we want this nightmare to end. What's the outcome? Two of Cups, great outcome. This is about agreements and balance, and making sure both sides are seeing eye to eye and are talking with each other. So however this is ruled, I've got no definitive response to the cards. It's going to be fair to both sides. Whatever they rule, it's going to be fair. They'll think about it. The truth is, there's the truth out there, and it's going to benefit both sides, which is what you want to happen, right? And I'm going to do a side-by-side reading, because since that's not really telling me a whole lot. Imagine that tarot card's not giving you a simple yes, no, here's exactly what's going to happen. And this is when the Trump's health event is going to happen, right? Let's do a side-by-side. Democrats and Republicans. How will they feel about the court ruling in California? See if one side's feeling better than the other. We'll do Democrats on the left, Republicans on the right. That seems so cliche, but that's how I'm doing it. How are the Democrats feeling about it? I'm just going to do a two-carder on this. How are they feeling about it, and why? It's Knight of Wands. It's about taking actions and not being happy with with what's been happening. So this could be, okay, they lose the court case and we need to appeal this because this is unfair, or we've taken actions and the Republicans are unhappy with what we're doing. How are the Republicans feeling? They're feeling strong. We got a strong case. And we got the Page of Pentacles. We're showing how much we love the Constitution because we want everyone to have an equal say. And what's the card that links them? Eight of Wands, about communications, about actions that are being taken. Energy underneath it. And ultimately to help resolve this nightmare situation that we're in. Okay, so taking a look at this, I mean, just on the surface, I like the Republican cards better. You've got they feel like they've got a strong case and that they are representing the voices and the needs of everyone. On the Democrat side, we're out there, we're taking actions, we're taking things forward. This card has me a little concerned about why you've got a 5 of Cups underneath these actions. Certainly, it would make Republicans sad. It may make certain Democrats sad that we actually had to do this. No one, and I mean no one in California, wants to redraw these district maps. All right? We voted for it 2-1. But if Trump had not gone to Texas and demanded that they redraw it, I guarantee you this would not have been a ballot measure in California. And everyone would have been just happy with what was going on. So we'll see. That's the current energy. Things may change. Like I said, my gut feeling is Pam Bondi is going to fail miserably in federal court. And maybe what the 5 of Cups is, we won in federal court. Now we got to go to they're going to kick it up to the Supreme Court and let them fight it out. So we'll see how this goes. Anyways, that's what I got for you. I hope you're all doing great. It was rainy and miserable here today. All day, it rained literally all day. And so I am actually looking forward to getting out of the house. But I hope you're all doing great and having a good time. I want to give a couple of shout outs. We got lots of cat shout outs. Fur Kid Vet has Ringo and Bill, and Ringo and Bill say, "Hi, Punky." And we're going to give them, Ringo and Bill, the Temperance card because they bring nice balance to the world. And then you've got Tracy Rivers, whose kitty's name is Cinderella, which is actually Cinderella's real name. You got the Hanged Man. You got to look at this a little different. Cinderella, because she was always, I believe it's because she was always cleaning like the fireplace and stuff. And so she was always kind of covered in cinders and ash. And so her name was Cinderella, but I think Disney just kind of shortened it to Cinderella. So it was like all one word instead of 2 words. Let's see. We've got Jennifer Grammer, who has wonderful grammar, I'm sure. Right. She said, we lost our 16-year-old cat Blackjack about a year ago. I really miss the cranky old fill in the blank. He was quite the character and always into mischief. We still have our cat down in the shop named Luke, or Lucky Luke, because he was a stray hiding under our daughter's deck when we took him in. So for Lucky Luke, we got the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords, just, hey man, take what you can get. You got a great family looking after you. So thank you, Jennifer. And thank you for that wonderful grammar. And from Canada, she's got Good Morning Gary from Anne and Latte, my huge tabby. Yeah, so Anne and Latte. For Latte, we've got the King of Pentacles. Yes, Latte has got all the value. Latte is the boss, the king. I don't know if Latte is a boy or a girl, so king or queen. Let's see what else we got. Squeaker 13. Fur babies are the best. Frodo and Cheddar hang out with me during my morning coffee tarot routine. Hope David feels better soon, from Marcy. Thank you, Marcy. Got the 8 of Swords. Yeah, Dave's slowly working his way out of that one. He's he like I said, he could sit for about a half an hour at a time, and then he has to go lie down again because sitting is so much exertion for his back. And then Allison Crouch has three kitty cats: Crackle, Pop, and Spooky, and four dogs: Buck, Penny, Z, and Rascal. So you got three cats. One is Pop and Crackle. What? You didn't name the other one Snap, huh? Okay. Well, we could for Spooky, Pop, Crackle, Buck, Penny, Z, and Rascal. You got the 10 of wands. You got your hands full there. That is for sure, Allison. And thank you so much, Allison. I totally recognize you from the comments. All right. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this. Let me go through this really quick. Oh, Kentucky Belle, Michelle, hey, how are you? Um, Thank you so much for your continued support. I know it's been really tough for you out there in Louisville. Michelle was mentioning in the comments how the UPS aircraft fly over her house, and I mean it's hard not to think about what happened last week, and when you're under the flight path of large freight carriers, it's a little bit disconcerting. Freight flies at night, so uh, at midnight she's got these big wide bodies going over her house. Where Dave and I grew up, we grew up under the flight path of SFO, and it was commercial flights, but they're in the daytime. They were passenger flights. And boy, were those things loud. You get a 707 or a 47 or a DC-10 going over the house, and you had to actually stop talking because it was so loud you could not carry on a conversation. You had to wait 30 seconds to a minute for the aircraft to clear so that you could actually hear the TV or continue your conversation. So, Michelle, I hope you're doing okay. Thank you so much for your kind contribution. You are our empress. And let's give you a card to your husband, your ever patient husband there. Ah, yes, the Four of Pentacles. He just wished you'd put the phone down, stop watching Twin Tarot, and give him some love and attention too. I hope you're all doing great. Here's a card for the rest of us. Take it right at the bottom, the Two of Swords. You've got a choice. Choose positivism. That's my choice. Hope you all have a great day. Take care, folks. Bye. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? It's right here. Take care, folks.